Namaste dear students, welcome to SSLC classes history. So today I shall be discussing the chapter number 2, the extension of the British rule in India. So now let us see what are the things we are going to learn under this chapter. So this chapter is the further extension of chapter number 1, the advent of Europeans to India. So in this chapter, we are going to learn that how the Britishes further extended their administration, their business, and the control over Indian political situation in South India, that especially the Marathas, the Mysore kingdom, as well as in the north, the Punjab region. Now let us go to the content. So here we are going to see the circumstances in India. Through Carnatic Wars, the British had made other European countries not to challenge them in India. That we have seen that French were defeated in the three Carnatic Wars. Before that, the Portuguese could not compete with the Britishers, as well as the Dutch. They themselves closed down all the business and they concentrated in the Southeast Asian countries. So in South India, since the Marathas and the Mysore states were dominant, hence, the British restricted themselves to Bombay and Bengal regions because in Mysore region, Hyder Ali and Tipu, they were the impediments. At the same time, the Marathas, the Peshwas were very strong, and hence the British realized that they need to have control over the Indian administration, that too in South India. So they formulated two policies, and these policies are called the cunning policies. So by cunning nature, they can get into the business of Indians and Indian polity. And these two policies were subsidiary alliance of 1798 by Lord Wellesley and doctrine of lapse by Lord Dalhousie. The British waged three wars against the Marathas, four wars against the Mysore kingdom, and the two wars against the Sikh, means in the Punjab. So they defeated all the Indian kingdoms and they took over Indian administration and extended their rule. Now let us see the first Anglo-Maratha War, which was fought between 1775 to 1782. The Marathas installed Shah Alam II back to the throne of Mughal Empire at Delhi. So Shah Alam was Shah Alam II, the same, the participant who had took part in the Battle of Buxar along with Mir Qasim and Suja Dawla. So after the war, Shah Alam was dethroned by the British. So the Marathas reinstalled him once again. So Emperor was happy and he gave two places to the Marathas, that is Kora and Allahabad, which were once given to the British. So this enhanced the enmity between the Marathas and the British. Now let us see what were the circumstances in Maratha kingdom. So Madhavrao Peshwa, who died. So the death of Madhavrao Peshwa was a major setback to the Marathas. So after the death of Madhavrao Peshwa, his brother Narayan Rao came to power. But Narayan Rao was brutally murdered by his uncle Raghoba or Raghunath Rao. Raghunath Rao was the uncle of Narayan Rao who murdered Narayan Rao, the brother of Madhavrao Peshwa. Reason was Raghunath Rao wanted Peshwaship to himself as well as his son. So this greediness led to the war within the Maratha families. The group of Maratha families such as Holkar, Sindhya, Gaikwad, Bhosle, they put together called Maratha confederations or federations. Then Maratha federations realized that the Peshwaship should go to the son of Narayan Rao. So hence they brought Madhavrao II to the throne of Peshwaship. So now Raghoba got angry and hook or crook or by any other means he wanted to have Peshwaship under his control. So he approached the British for help. So this led to the war between 1775 and 82. So initially Marathas gained upper hand and later they lost the battle at a place Allahabad and British were victorious. So Maratha Confederation, they could not sustain due to the war where men and materials and resources were destroyed, hence finally agreed to have a settlement. So by this settlement, the first Anglo-Maratha War ended, and this was called the Treaty of Salbai. According to Treaty of Salbai, the first Anglo-Maratha War came to an end, and Madhavrao II, the son of Narayan Rao, was named as Peshwa, and British got the influence in Marathas, means Maratha kingdom. So these were the three major outcome of Anglo-Maratha War first. Now let us move to the cunning policy of Lord Wellesley, that is subsidiary alliance. Subsidiary alliance, this was basically a military protection agreement between the East India Company and the Indian princely states. It had various conditions. So very important question for your board examination. So hence you have to deal with this very carefully. The conditions of subsidiary alliance are or were: the Indian king had to keep the British army in his own kingdom. Means the Indian king has to agree to keep the British forces in the kingdom. Number two, the concerned state, means here princely state, had to bear the expenses of military, army, and wages of soldiers, uniform, and all other allowances, and they should give certain land, revenue land. The king has to have a British officer called resident in his court. Suppose if Maratha Peshwa has signed this agreement, the Maratha Peshwa had to keep an officer by name resident, British resident, in his court. The king could not appoint any other Europeans without the permission of the British. That means if any native kingdom has accepted this agreement, he cannot appoint neither French or Portuguese or anybody without the prior permission of the British. In order to enter any agreement or pact with the neighboring countries or states or the government, the Indian king must take permission from the Governor General of British. That was mandatory. And the last point, in return of all the services, the company would offer protection to the princely state from any internal or external aggression. It could be within India, or even from external anybody attack on Indian state, princely state, British would help. So these were the terms of subsidiary alliance. Now let us see the second Anglo-Maratha War, 1803. It was fought 1802, 1803. Now see what is the cause. The within Maratha families, as already I mentioned, Holkar, Sindhia, Gaikwad, Bhonsle. Among these Maratha chiefs, there was a differences developed. ಅವರಲ್ಲೇ ಒಳ ಜಗಳ ಆಯಿತು. So this became the cause for the Second Anglo-Maratha War. Enmity broke out between Yashwantrao Holkar of Holkar family and Daulat Sindhia of Sindhia family, along with the Peshwa. So during this time, the Peshwa was Bajirao II. Bajirao II was the Peshwa during the Second Anglo-Maratha War. So in 1802, the army of Holkar defeated the army of Sindhia, as well as the Peshwa Balajirao II. Here you have to make a note that Holkar was one of the Maratha chief. He took the enmity against his own family member, that is the Sindhia, and also he went against the Peshwa Bajirao II. The Peshwa was defeated here. The Prime Minister of all Maratha federations was defeated by Holkar. So here Holkar had proven his power, and the pathetic condition was for Peshwa, that is Bajirao II. So now Bajirao II wanted to protect his kingdom, at the same time he wanted to maintain his pride. So what he did, he went and sought the help of the British. So as you all know that British were cunning in nature, they did not directly help Peshwa. Instead of that, Britishers asked the Peshwa Bajirao II to accept the subsidiary alliance. Means accepting all those 6 conditions, then they will help in protecting the kingdom of Marathas from Holkar. And finally Peshwa agreed for that. ಬೀಸೋ ದೊಣ್ಣೆಯಿಂದ ತಪ್ಪಿಸ್ಕೊಂಡ್ರೆ 100 ವರ್ಷ ಆಯಿತು ಅಂತ ಹೇಳಿ. So he agreed for it. And what he did, he entered the subsidiary alliance by signing a treaty. And this treaty is called Treaty of Bessin. Bessin is a place, so where the treaty was signed. Then Maratha families like Holkar, Gwalior, and Bhonsle, Sindhya, and all they got angry because the Peshwa, the prime minister of Maratha chief or Maratha kingdom, he himself went and asked the help of the British. They got very angry, and now they all got united, and they came forward and said that Peshwa, we all will join with you, and we will declare war against the British, and we'll send them out because British were cunning in nature, and if we entertain them, definitely in the long run they'll take over all our Maratha kingdom, and we'll be in the great loss. So then Peshwa agreed. So Peshwa Bajirao II, who had already entered Saptagi alliance, now joined with his own family group, that is Holkar, Sindhya, Gaikwad and all, and together they made an attempt and declared war on British, and British got angry. The reason is Peshwa had broken the Saptagi alliance terms, the Treaty of Bessin, and moreover they also attacked on British. So Lord Wellesley, who was the Governor General in India, so he defeated Maratha families, and this battle increased the thirst of financial importance as well as the political dominance of British. At the same time, it also a great burden on the British because British had to wage wars for which they had to recruit an army, they had to use the resources, weapons, horse, and so on. Hence, there was a huge investment made by the British. So, British wanted to take it back those money in the form of compensation. So, what did they do? They started collecting huge money from the Marathas. On being criticized, Lord Wellesley resigned because Lord Wellesley was keep on imposing more fines and compensation, which made him unpopular, and he was asked to resign from his post, and he went back to England. So now Lord Wellesley is now not there after the Second Anglo-Maratha War. So after uh, return of Lord Wellesley, the peace was restored in the Maratha kingdom, but Marathas were defeated, and again there was a severe setback to Maratha kingdom and pride. Now let us see the Third Anglo-Maratha War and the conditions. Third Anglo-Maratha War was fought in 1817 to 1818. Here the Maratha families again, the Holkar, Sindhya, Gaikwad, Bhonsle, Peshwa and all, they tried to protect their own independence and their dignity and honor. So hence they started in declaring themselves as free from the clutches of the British Company. Now, in this Third Anglo-Maratha War, the Peshwa attacked the British Residency in Pune. British Residency means the British officer by name resident was given a shelter, a bungalow, and that bungalow or the office was called Residency, and it was at Pune. And British Residency at Pune was burnt by Peshwa and his army. Peshwa was very much supported by various small feudatory rulers like Appa Sahib of Nagpur and Malhar Rao Holkar. They all joined the war and they went against the British. Peshwa Bajirao II fought against the British at a place called Koregaon as well as the Asti, but later he could not face the Britishers and finally surrendered. Now the British abolished the Peshwa post at all. They removed the prime ministership. There was no Peshwa at all, and Peshwa was given a pension, annual pension, and he was sent to different place. And Pratapa Simha, who was the descendant of ಶಿವಾಜಿಯ ಮನೆತನಕ್ಕೆ ಸೇರಿದಂಥ ಒಬ್ಬ ರೂಲರು ಪ್ರತಾಪ ಸಿಂಹ. ಸೊ ಸತಾರ, ಬೆಸಿನ್, ಸತಾರ ಇವೆಲ್ಲ ಪ್ಲೇಸಸ್ಗಳು ಅಲ್ಲಿ ಬರೋದು. ಅಲ್ಲಿಂದ ಮತ್ತು many other small rulers, they tried to have their independent existence, but later on it was suppressed by the Britishers, and completely Maratha and the Maratha influence and the power dried up. Means it got completely ended. So this was the Third Anglo-Maratha War. Hope you understood. Now we are going to learn about the next concept, Anglo-Sikh Wars. Punjab. Punjab is known for their braveness, pride, and honor and patriotic spirit. Okay. So the followers of Guru Nanak were called the Sikhs. So here, Raja Ranjit Singh or the King Ranjit Singh was ruling over Sikh in community. It is in Punjab. So Raja Ranjit Singh or the King Ranjit Singh, who had established peace and known for his peaceful administration over Punjab region. After his death in 1839, anarchy broke out. Anarchy ಅಂದರೆ ಓಕೆ ಒಂದು ಪೀಸ್ಫುಲ್ಲು ಅಡ್ಮಿನಿಸ್ಟ್ರೇಷನ್ ಇಲ್ಲದೇ ಇರೋದು, ದಂಗೆ ಏಳೋದು ಮತ್ತು ಯಾವುದೇ ರೀತಿಯಂಥ ಒಂದು ಅಡ್ಮಿನಿಸ್ಟ್ರೇಷನು ನಡೆಯದೆ ಇರುವಂಥ ಒಂದು ಸನ್ನಿವೇಶವನ್ನು ಅನಾರ್ಕಿ ಅಂತ ಹೇಳ್ತೇವೆ. ದ ಬ್ರಿಟಿಷ್ ಅಟೆಂಪ್ಟೆಡ್ ಟು ಇನ್ವೇಟ್ ಪಂಜಾಬ್. ಓಕೆ, this was not happen till the death of Ranjit Singh, because Ranjit Singh had already signed a continuous friendship pact with the Britishers. So hence British did not enter into the Sikh region, that is in Punjab. But now Ranjit Singh is not there, so that gave an opportunity to the British to enter into the region of Punjab. So in December 1845, a war broke out between the British and the Sikh. Hindus, Sikhs and the Muslims, they joined together and they declared war on the British. But unfortunately, the British could not defeated by the combined forces of Hindus, Muslims and Sikhs. Finally, the Sikhs had to accept the defeat. The reason was there were so many traitors, ಅಂದರೆ ದೇಶದ್ರೋಹಿಗಳು, ರಾಜದ್ರೋಹ ಮಾಡಿದಂತಹ ಬಹಳಷ್ಟು ಜನರು ಏನು ಮಾಡ್ತಾರೆ, ರಂಜಿತ್ ಸಿಂಗ್ನ ಮಗನಾದಂಥ ದುಲುಕ್ ಸಿಂಗ್ ಇದಲ್ಲ, ಅವನಿಗೆ ಸೇವೆ ಮಾಡೋದ ಬದಲಾಗಿ, ಅವನ್ನ ಸರ್ವ್ ಮಾಡೋದ ಬದಲಾಗಿ ಬ್ರಿಟಿಷ್ ಜೊತೆ ಸೇರ್ಕೊಂಡ್ಬಿಡ್ತಾರೆ. ಸೇಮ್ ಮೀರ್ ಜಾಫರ್ ಮತ್ತು ಮೀರ್ ಖಾಸಿಮ್ ಎಪಿಸೋಡ್ ಆಯ್ತಲ್ಲ, ಅದೇ ರೀತಿ ಇಲ್ಲಿ ಕೆಲವರು ಟ್ರೈಟರ್ಸ್ ಏನು ಮಾಡ್ತಾರೆ, ಅವರು ಇಂಗ್ಲೀಷ್ಗೆ ಸಪೋರ್ಟ್ ಮಾಡ್ತಾರೆ. ಸೊ ಆಫ್ಟರ್ ಡಿಫೀಟಿಂಗ್ ದ ಸಿಕ್ಸ್ ಇನ್ ದ ಟೂ ವಾರ್ಸ್, ಹ್ಯುಮಿಲಿಯೇಟಿಂಗ್, ಅವಮಾನಕರವಾದಂಥ ಒಂದು ಒಪ್ಪಂದ ಮಾಡ್ತಾರೆ. ಆ್ಯಂಡ್ ದಟ್ ಟ್ರೀಟಿ ಈಸ್ ಕಾಲ್ಡ್ ಲಾಹೋರ್ ಅಗ್ರಿಮೆಂಟ್, ಬಿಕಾಸ್ ಐ ಆಮ್ ಟಾಕಿಂಗ್ ಅಬೌಟ್ ಅನ್ಡಿವೈಡೆಡ್ ಇಂಡಿಯಾ. ಆಗ ಲಾಹೋರ್ ಕೂಡ ಭಾರತದಲ್ಲಿತ್ತು, ಒಂದು ಭಾಗ ಆಗಿತ್ತದು. ಸೊ ಲಾಹೋರ್ ಅಗ್ರಿಮೆಂಟ್ ವಾಸ್ ಸೈನ್ ಇನ್ 1846 ಆ್ಯಂಡ್ ದ ಬ್ರಿಟಿಷ್ ರೆಸಿಡೆಂಟ್, ಸೇಮ್ ಸಬ್ಸಿಡಿ ಅಲೈನ್ಸನ್ನು ಸೈನ್ ಮಾಡ್ತಾರೆ. ಸಬ್ಸಿಡಿ ಅಲೈನ್ಸಿನ ಪ್ರಕಾರ ಬ್ರಿಟಿಷ್ ಆಫೀಸರ್ ರೆಸಿಡೆಂಟ್ನ ಅಲ್ಲಿ ಸಿಖ್ ಪಂಜಾಬ್ನ ರೀಜನ್ ಅಪಾಯಿಂಟ್ ಮಾಡ್ತಾರೆ. ಓಕೆ, ಸಿಖ್ ರೀಜನಲ್ಲಿ ಅಪಾಯಿಂಟ್ ಆದಂತಹ ಬ್ರಿಟಿಷ್ ರೆಸಿಡೆಂಟು ಅವನೇ ಡಿ ಫ್ಯಾಕ್ಟೋ ರೂಲರ್ ಆಗ್ತಾನೆ, ಅವನೇ ಇಂಡೈರೆಕ್ಟ್ಲಿ ಕಿಂಗ್ ಮೇಕರ್ ಅಂದರೆ ಹೆಡ್ ಆಗ್ತಾನೆ ಪಂಜಾಬಲ್ಲಿ. ಬಟ್ ಮೆನಿ ಅಟೆಂಪ್ಟ್ಸ್ ವರ್ ಮೇಡ್ ಬೈ ದ ಸಿಖ್ ಅಂಡರ್ ದೇರ್ ಲೀಡರ್ಸ್. ಬಹಳಷ್ಟು ಮೊದಲೇ ಅವರೆಲ್ಲ ಬಹಳಷ್ಟು ದೇಶ ಭಕ್ತರು ಮತ್ತು ಅಷ್ಟೇ ಬ್ರೇವ್ನೆಸ್ ಇರ್ತಲ್ಲ, ಹಾಗಾಗಿ ಛತ್ತಾರ್ ಸಿಂಗ್ ಅಥರ್ವಾಲಿಯಾ ಲಾಹೋರಿಂದ ಮತ್ತು ಮುಲ್ರಾಜ್ ಅಂತ ಹೇಳಿ ಮುಲ್ತಾನ್, ಈಗ ಅಫ್ಘಾನಿಸ್ತಾನದ ಆ ಪ್ಲೇಸ್ಗಳಿಂದ ಬಂದು ಪಂಜಾಬ್ ರೀಜನ್ ಮೇಲೆ ಅಟ್ಯಾಕ್ ಮಾಡ್ತಾರೆ ಬ್ರಿಟಿಷ್ನ ಡಿಫೀಟ್ ಮಾಡಲಿಕ್ಕೆ. ಆದರೆ ಇಟ್ ವೆಂಟ್ ಇನ್ ವೇನ್, ಆದರೆ ಅದು ಸಫಲತೆ ಸಿಗೋದಿಲ್ಲ. ಸೊ ದಿಸ್ ಇಸ್ ಹೌ ದ ಸೆಕೆಂಡ್ ಆಂಗ್ಲೋ ಸಿಖ್ ವಾರ್ ಎಂಡೆಡ್ ವಿತ್ ದ ವಿಕ್ಟ್ರಿ ಆಫ್ ಬ್ರಿಟಿಷ್, ಆ್ಯಂಡ್ ಬ್ರಿಟಿಷ್ ಗಾಟ್ ಕಂಟ್ರೋಲ್ ಓವರ್ ದ ಲ್ಯಾಂಡ್ ಆಫ್ 5 ರಿವರ್ಸ್, ಪಂಜಾಬ್, ರಾವಿ, ಬಿಯಾಸ್, ಸತ್ಲೇಜ್, ಚೀನಾಬ್, ಝೇಲಂ, ಈ 5 ನದಿಗಳ ಕೂಡಿದಂತಹ ಒಂದು ಫಲವತ್ತಾದ ಭೂಮಿ ಪಂಜಾಬ್, ಅದು ಬ್ರಿಟಿಷ್ ವಶಕ್ಕೆ ಹೋಗುತ್ತೆ. So now let us see the second cunning policy of the British introduced by Lord Dalhousie, and that is the doctrine of lapse. ದತ್ತು ಮಕ್ಕಳಿಗೆ ಹಕ್ಕಿಲ್ಲ ಅಂತ ನೀವೇನು ಓದ್ತಿರಲ್ಲ, ಅದೇ ಇದು. Dalhousie, who arrived in India as a Governor General in 1848, then he saw the Indian political conditions and realized that some of the Indian families, they were ruling without the natural heir. ನ್ಯಾಚುರಲ್ ಹೈರ್ ಅಂದರೆ ಸ್ವಂತ ಮಗ ಇಲ್ಲದೇ ಇರುವಂತಹ ಸನ್ನಿವೇಶದಲ್ಲಿ ಆ ಒಂದು ಮಗನ ದತ್ತು ತಗೊಂಡು ಅವನು ರಾಜನಾಗಿ ಪಟ್ಟಾಭಿಷೇಕ ಮಾಡಿ ಬಹಳಷ್ಟು ರಾಜಮನೆತನಗಳು ತನ್ನ ಒಂದು ರಾಜ್ಯವನ್ನು ಆಳ್ತಾ ಇರ್ತಾರೆ. ಸೊ ಹಿ ಅಡಾಪ್ಟೆಡ್ ಅ ಪಾಲಿಸಿ, ಆ್ಯಂಡ್ ದಟ್ ಪಾಲಿಸಿ ಇಸ್ ಕಾಲ್ಡ್ ಡಾಕ್ಟ್ರಿನ್ ಆಫ್ ಲ್ಯಾಪ್ಸ್, ವೇರ್ ಬೈ ದ ಅಡಾಪ್ಟೆಡ್ ಚಿಲ್ಡ್ರನ್ ಆಫ್ ದ ಕಿಂಗ್, ದಟ್ ಮೀನ್ಸ್ ಇಂಡಿಯನ್ ನೇಟಿವ್ ಪ್ರಿನ್ಸಸ್ ಸ್ಟೇಟ್ ಕಿಂಗ್, ವರ್ ರೆಫ್ಯೂಸ್ಡ್ ಟು ಗಿವ್ ದ ರೈಟ್ ಟು ದ ಥ್ರೋನ್. ಅವ್ರಿಗೆ ಹಕ್ಕನ್ನು ಕೊಡದೇ ಇರೋದು, ಇದನ್ನು ಡಾಕ್ಟ್ರಿನ್ ಆಫ್ ಲ್ಯಾಪ್ಸ್ ಅಂತ ಹೇಳ್ತೇವೆ. ಈ ಒಂದು ಡಾಕ್ಟ್ರಿನ್ ಆಫ್ ಲ್ಯಾಪ್ಸ್ನ ಪ್ರಕಾರ ಬಹಳಷ್ಟು ಇಂಡಿಯನ್ ಕಿಂಗ್ಡಮ್ಸನ್ನು ಏನು ಮಾಡ್ತಾರೆ, ಬ್ರಿಟಿಷರ್ಸ್ ತಮ್ಮ ವಶದಲ್ಲಿ ತೊಗೊಂಡ್ಬಿಡ್ತಾರೆ. ವಿಚ್ ಆರ್ ದ ಪ್ರಿನ್ಸಸ್ ಸ್ಟೇಟ್ ದಟ್ ಕೇಮ್ ಅಂಡರ್ ಆರ್ ಮರ್ಜ್ ಅಂಡರ್ ದ ಬ್ರಿಟಿಷ್ ಅಂಡರ್ ಡಾಕ್ಟ್ರಿನ್ ಆಫ್ ಲ್ಯಾಪ್ಸ್ ಅಂತ ಬಂದರೆ ಕ್ವಶನು. ನಂಬರ್ 1, ಫಸ್ಟ್ ಸ್ಟೇಟು ಸತಾರಾ, ಎಲ್ಲಿ ಮಹಾರಾಷ್ಟ್ರದಲ್ಲಿ, ನಾಗ್ಪುರ್ ಮತ್ತು ಮಹಾರಾಷ್ಟ್ರ, ಸಂಭಾಲ್ಪುರ್, ಓಕೆ ರಾಜಸ್ಥಾನಲ್ಲಿ ಬರುತ್ತೆ, ಉದಯ್ಪುರ್, ದೆನ್ ಉದಯ್ಪುರ ಮತ್ತು ರಾಜಸ್ಥಾನ, ಝಾನ್ಸಿ ಮಧ್ಯಪ್ರದೇಶ್, ಜೈಪುರ್ ರಾಜಸ್ಥಾನ್. ಸೊ ಈ ಥರ ಎಲ್ಲ ಪ್ರಿನ್ಸ್ಲಿ ಸ್ಟೇಟ್ಸ್ ನಮ್ಮ ಭಾರತೀಯ ರಾಜಮನೆತನಗಳನ್ನು, ಆ ರಾಜ್ಯವನ್ನೆಲ್ಲ ಅವರು ಬ್ರಿಟಿಷರ್ಸು ಕಬಳಿಸ್ಕೊಂಡ್ಬಿಡ್ತಾರೆ. ನಾಟ್ ಓನ್ಲಿ ದ ಪ್ರಿನ್ಸ್ಲಿ ಫ್ಯಾಮಿಲೀಸ್, ಈವನ್ ದ ಆರ್ಡಿನರಿ ಪೀಪಲ್ ಹೂ ಹ್ಯಾಡ್ ಸಿಂಪತಿ ಟುವರ್ಡ್ಸ್ ದ ಇಂಡಿಯನ್ ಕಿಂಗ್ಸ್, ದೇ ಆಲ್ಸೋ ರೆಬೆಲ್ಡ್ ಅಗೇನ್ಸ್ಟ್ ದ ಕಂಪನಿ. ಬಹಳಷ್ಟು ಪ್ರಿನ್ಸ್ಲಿ ಫ್ಯಾಮಿಲೀಸ್ ಇದನ್ನು ಅಪೋಸ್ ಮಾಡ್ತಾರೆ. ಜೊತೆಗೆ ಆ ರಾಜರನ್ನು ಒಂದು ದೇವರ ಸಮಾನದಲ್ಲಿ ನೋಡ್ತಾ ಇದ್ದಂತಹ ಜನರು ಕೂಡ ಏನು ಮಾಡ್ತಾರೆ, ಈ ಪಾಲಿಸಿ ವಿರುದ್ಧ, ಬ್ರಿಟಿಷರ್ಸ್ ವಿರುದ್ಧ ಒಂದು ದಂಗೆ ಹೇಳ್ತಾರೆ. ಆದರೆ ಬ್ರಿಟಿಷರ್ಸ್ ವರ್ ಏಬಲ್ ಟು ಸಪ್ರೆಸ್ ದೆಮ್ ಆ್ಯಂಡ್ ಟು ಕವರ್ ಆಲ್ ದೋಸ್ ಪ್ಲೇಸಸ್. ನಿಮಗೆ ಕಿತ್ತೂರು ರಾಣಿ ಚೆನ್ನಮ್ಮ, ಅದಕ್ಕಿಂತ ಹೆಚ್ಚಾಗಿ ಝಾನ್ಸಿ ರಾಣಿ ಲಕ್ಷ್ಮೀಬಾಯಿ ಅವರ ಎಪಿಸೋಡ್ಗಳನ್ನೆಲ್ಲ ನೀವು ನೋಡಿದರೆ, ಅದೇ ಝಾನ್ಸಿ ಅಲ್ಲಿ ದತ್ತು ಮಕ್ಕಳಿಗೆ ಹಕ್ಕಿಲ್ಲ ಅನ್ನೋಂಥ ಒಂದು ಪದ್ಧತಿಯಿಂದ ತಮ್ಮ ರಾಜ್ಯವನ್ನು ಕಳೆದುಕೊಂಡಂಥ ಬಹಳಷ್ಟು ರಾಜ ಮತ್ತು ರಾಣಿಯರು ದಂಗೆ ಹೇಳ್ತಾರೆ ಬ್ರಿಟಿಷ್ ವಿರುದ್ಧ. ರಾಜ ರಣಜಿತ್ ಸಿಂಗ್ ಯಾರು, ಅವನ ಒಂದು ಅಚೀವ್ಮೆಂಟ್ಸ್ಗಳೇನು, ಅವನು ಚಿಕ್ಕವನಿದ್ದಾಗ ಅವನು ತನ್ನ ಲೆಫ್ಟ್ ಐ ಅವನು ಏನು ಚಿಕ್ಕವನಿರ್ಬೇಕಾದ್ರೆ ಅವನಿಗೆ ಒಂದು ಸ್ಮಾಲ್ ಪಾಕ್ಸ್ ಆಗಿರುತ್ತೆ, ಅದರಿಂದ ಅವನು ತನ್ನ ಒಂದು ಕಣ್ಣನ್ನು ಕಳ್ಕೊಂಡಿರ್ತಾನೆ. ಆದರೂ ಕೂಡ ಅಷ್ಟು ಬ್ರೇವ್ ಆಗಿ, ಅಷ್ಟು ಇಂಡಿಪೆಂಡೆಂಟ್ ಆಗಿ, ಯಾವುದೇ ಬ್ರಿಟಿಷ್ ಇನ್ಫ್ಲುಯೆನ್ಸ್ ಇಲ್ಲದೇ ರೂಲ್ ಮಾಡಿದಂತಹ ಒಬ್ಬ ಮಹಾನ್ ಪಂಜಾಬಿನ ಲೀಡರು. ಇಡೀ ಭಾರತ ದೇಶದಲ್ಲಿ ಅವನನ್ನು ಲಯನ್ ಆಫ್ ಪಂಜಾಬ್ ಅಂತ ಹೇಳ್ತೀವಿ. ರಣಜಿತ್ ಸಿಂಗ್ ಲಯನ್ ಆಫ್ ಪಂಜಾಬ್, ಟಿಪ್ಪುವನ್ನು ನಾವು ಟೈಗರ್ ಆಫ್ ಮೈಸೂರು ಅಂತ ಹೇಳ್ತೀವಿ. ಸೊ this is what your lesson, and in the next chapter we are going to learn about in detail about Hyder Ali, then Mysuru and Karnataka, various leaders who revolted in the British ಅನ್ನೋ ಬಗ್ಗೆ ನೋಡೋಣ. ಅಲ್ಲಿವರೆಗೆ see you, take care, be safe, stay at home, have a good time, learn properly and update yourself.